Us tonight. My next guest yesterday here on MSNBC called on Attorney General Merrick Garland to clean house and raised a question we want to dig into a bit. Why did we learn this news from Apple? With me now, Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi of Illinois, who sits on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, your top-line reaction to this story?
I think it's shocking. It's outrageous. It's something that you hear or expect from Vladimir Putin's Russia or Xi Jinping's China. It's not something that you'd expect in the United States. And this secret subpoena that was issued for the White House counsel's records just begs the question, who else was caught up in this dragnet of secret subpoenas? Which other political opponents were caught up in this target list? And I think we absolutely need an investigation now more than ever.
Do you buy this assertion that Barr and Sessions knew nothing about it?
Not completely. I have to say that they need to come before Congress and testify under oath with regard to that question. But just for a moment, assuming that they really did not know, then it begs the question, did the White House create some kind of back channel to line prosecutors in the DOJ to get these secret subpoenas issued? And that in and of itself would be astonishing.
Is there any precedent you're aware of this subpoenaing of records of members of Congress?
I've heard about subpoenaing members of Congress who may be the subject of a specific corruption investigation. But I have not heard of one where, the White House or the executive branch investigates a co-equal branch of government without any predicate evidence or reason to do so, other than potentially trying to gather dirt on them as leverage in a fishing expedition and a political exercise.
The DOJ won't say whether there were Republicans involved in this. If there is an investigation within Congress, if people are found to have broken the law here, what consequences might they face?
Well, they need to be held accountable, and the various penalties associated with, breaking our laws are well known. But beyond that, we have to put guardrails in place to prevent this from happening again. That starts with changing DOJ policy. It then goes to firing prosecutors who actually thought it was okay to issue these secret subpoenas against members of Congress. And then third, it might require legislative reforms that prevent any future administration from doing the same, because, any assumption that only people of integrity would be president or would be running the DOJ, unfortunately, have been proven to be wrong.
I do want to ask you, Ross Duhat over at the New York Times op-ed today on the filibuster, he says, quote, there is a half measure available that Manchin could consider as an alternative to abolition, weakening the filibuster by taking its threshold to 55 votes instead of 60. He argues that would put some of the things Manchin wants to get done in play while still maintaining a strong impediment to ideological legislating. I wonder what you make of that idea.
I'm not sure about that. I think that, unfortunately, the threshold of 55 or 60, I think, would be used in the same way that the current filibuster is used, which is just to basically frustrate every single measure that a tiny minority might oppose. Now, if you were talking about maybe a speaking filibuster, at some lower threshold, perhaps that might make sense. But there has to be a fundamental reform of the nature of the filibuster. It can't just be an email to the Senate Majority Leader's office saying, I filibuster this. But I personally think the filibuster has outlasted its usefulness and should go away at this point.
Congressman Krishnamoorthi, thank you so much for your time.